Hi, my name is Mark Polton. I'm a real estate investor, buy and hold real estate investor in the greater Charlotte, North Carolina area. Today I wanted to share my thoughts on basically staying the course in this industry. Now, if you ever read the book E squared or E cubed or something like that, and it's basically a book on how to do quantum leaps, and that's really what a lot of self-help books are about these days is, how do you quantum leap to success? The problem is most people don't actually do that. Most people, maybe somebody like Elon Musk can, or probably the 1% of the 1%, can change their life over a 3, 5, 6 month period, in quantum leaps, but most people end up doing it the baby step way. I personally do the baby step way. So I've been a real estate investor since about 2007, late 2007. I bought my first home. Absolute nightmare, and everything, and made almost any mistake that you could possibly make. But it wasn't until about 2015, it's now 2020, that I started doing this as a real business, that I started doing this, taking it seriously, not just something that, was there on the weekends, or, for the most part, I didn't want to deal with it after my first divorce. And it has taken a good solid 5 years, probably 4.5 for the business to really start to make some money, for it to really start to hold its own. And I can't even tell you how many times we struggled. And I was having a discussion about that with my wife last night as we were out on a walk, and she said, "Yeah, but we never did without." That's true. We make pretty good money between us and our W-2 jobs. We end up buying homes, and at one time we had like 5 or 6 homes that were empty. 4 or 5 had to be rehabbed, and almost all of them had code enforcement from the city, and it's been a difficult process. We certainly didn't have the money to buy them, which we found a way to do, but we also didn't really have the money to rehab them, and it's amazing just figuring it out one step at a time. And I'm a little gray, I've lost some hair, I'm a little heavier because I've had to go through the stress of trying to figure this all out. It's not been simple. I didn't have the information, but I stayed the course. Many sleepless nights, many frank discussions with the wife on, things aren't going well, or I have to rush to the ATM for the business so that I can make a deposit so we don't bounce checks. And we went through that, but that's called paying your dues. We paid our dues for a long time, but I was commenting last night, I'm like, it's probably been a year since I've had to go to the bank to deposit money so that we don't bounce a check. And even through this COVID-19 pandemic, whatever you want to call it, things have been rough, but it just kind of always seemed to work out. We're doing better. We have all but one home, our duplex, rented, and today I had to spend $1,200 on the very last home we have rented. It had to get water jetted, hydrojet I think is what it's called, the main line. It probably had a lot of scale in there. It was cast iron, hasn't been, cast iron has to stay lubricated. I know that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to most people. If not, it starts to scale, and the scale can actually clog it up. The drain was actually fine, but they started flushing flushable wipes down it, and it clogged it up. Really nasty. But $1,200, probably shouldn't have a problem with that in the future. Didn't know what a hydrojet was. Wondering if I could get my own, right? Is this something that I can do on my own, or have one of my people do, rather than having to pay $1,200? So, but these are things that you're going to learn, and you're not going to learn it by watching a video. You're not going to learn it by going to a course. You learn this by on-the-job training. But it's the importance of staying the course. I was talking with our last tenant. She's opening up a uniform business, and she wants a storefront and things like that. But I always tell people baby steps are still steps. and it's really no different than working out in the gym. I know I'm one to talk, right? You know, you don't become Arnold Schwarzenegger in a day, but if you go to the gym consistently and you eat right and you train, you know, at the end of a year, there's a noticeable difference. You're not going to notice much of a difference at the end of the month. You're not going to notice much of a difference at the end of 2 months. You know, you might notice a little bit, but at the end of the year, you're going to notice a big difference. Well, this business is no different, you know. And I also, there's also a book I like called The Tipping Point. And, you know, the premise of The Tipping Point is, you know, you work and you work and you work, and you will eventually reach a tipping point where things start to snowball and it becomes much easier. That doesn't mean there's less to manage. It doesn't mean there's less work. It means there's less easier, and the gains come much quicker. Which I think we're at the precipice. I think I said that right, of the tipping point. So, anyways, you know, our business is actually pretty profitable. It's most profitable it's been. Almost all the homes except for our duplex have been rented. So, you know, it's looking really, really good for us. So it's important to stay the course, you know, continue to advance. And, you know, maybe you're one of those people who can do the quantum leap. Maybe you're one of those people who, you know, doesn't have to worry about funding. Is a really good salesman and can get everything. You know, that has the funnel to be able to get properties and things like that. Most people aren't. But most people can do this if they stay the course, do baby steps, and take it seriously. Anyways, those are my thoughts. What are your thoughts? Leave them in the comments section below. Like, subscribe, comment, and I wish you success.